New screen recording starting now. Boom. Nailed it. Welcome back, guys. This is a breakdown of UFC 312. I'm here in Aspen for a ski contest. I stayed up late to watch this so I could react to the video for you guys, to the fights for you guys. Even coming into a contest, so you're welcome. And this YouTube video thing, we're trying to make it more consistent. So that's why I'm here now, breaking down the fights. We're going to make it super quick. I have a big contest tomorrow. But the fights overall, 312, were pretty good. We're going to start at the bottom, go all the way to the top, recap all the fights, cover some things that surprised us, some things that didn't surprise us. And yeah, very interesting. So starting things off in the lightweight division with performance of the night, Quillan Sakild, absolutely, well, I mean, we can look right here. It was 19 seconds into the fight. He knocked out Anish Jubilee. All you guys out there, Jubilee fans, Jubilee train, man, it's been derailed. It's been derailed for, I mean, it's been derailed for a little bit, for sure. This guy's got to make, this guy's got to get some fights in and make a comeback, but totally doable. And I'm excited to see it happen later down the line. I mean, again, India needs a big star in MMA, and hopefully we can make that happen with Anish Jubilee. Man, this name, bruh. I'm getting better at the names, don't worry. But Quillan Sakild, absolutely just, he put him out. Well, didn't put him out, but like, you know, dropped him very badly, and then it was going to be over. The ref stopped the fight. Great win from Quillan. I actually picked him to win this fight, so I'm happy about that. Did not see it going this way, but I mean, it did, so that's a bonus. I'm just going to check the, I'm just going to check the mic. I'm just going to check to make sure it's recording quickly. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, after that we have Jonathan McAlphy versus Kevin Jusay. I got this one wrong. I thought Kevin Jusay was going to actually win the fight. I've never seen Jonathan McAlphy fight before. I know Kevin Jusay's, you know, generally an all-around pretty good fighter. Like, he's not a bad fighter by any means. And dude, great fight. Jonathan McAlphy, like, you could see Kevin Jusay's whole right side of his body was just super red and torn up from these big kicks. Lots of nice kicks to the body, to the legs, lots upstairs too. And it was a good fight. Kevin Jusay was like, he was in it the whole time, but he definitely just, I mean, he definitely lost the fight. It was close. It was a tight fight. Let's see what we got in stats here right now. I mean, 89 total strikes to 71 total strikes, so decently close. Significant strikes definitely in McAlphy's favor. And I mean, yeah, it was a really good performance. It was a good win. Kevin Jusay is a decent fighter, and I mean, I think it's his UFC debut. It's a good way to start your UFC debut with a strong opponent. And I mean, those body kicks, they were nasty. I mean, southpaw versus orthodox. You would have to. I mean, it's free body kicks. Like Mighty Mouse always says, free body kicks in that position. Kevin Jusay needed to figure something out with that, because that really is what. Like, I mean, boxing wise, it was good. They were going back and forth. They both rocked each other. But I mean, those kicks definitely played a huge like thing in this game. Fight, bruh, brain. Been a long day of training. But basically, I mean, Jonathan McAlphy, like, he outpointed him, he outdamaged him, and he definitely did more with those body kicks, and it definitely shut down a little bit of what Kevin Jusay wanted to do, because he was just always getting blasted with them. And it's really hard to fire back when you're getting blasted with body kicks like that. So, up next, last fight in the early prelims, lightweight bout, Rongju versus Cody Steele. This was a badass fight. Anybody that watched the card, this was, I mean, it's got fight of the night on it. It was the fight of the night. Cody Steele, apparently, coming into this, you know, wrestling was supposed to be his area where he would, you know, obviously excel against Rongju. It didn't happen. I mean, he tried takedowns. Rongju shut it down all night. Rongju's in good shape. They're both in great shape, but Rongju's in good shape. And they were going back and forth on the feet. This was a dogfight. Like, big shots from both sides. The striking was, I don't want to say it was really, really good, because Cody Steele was throwing heat, but with, you know, there was some technique missing on some of the stuff that Cody Steele. He was swinging for the fences at some points. Rongju was just, you know, everything Rongju through was like just very stiff. It definitely, you could see that, like, it's not even like a power difference. It just had more like snap and more like just sting on it than what Cody Steele was doing. And he wasn't necessarily overthrowing as much as Cody Steele to get the power on these punches. Cody Steele definitely rocked Rongju in a couple spots, but he was really putting his whole body into it. There's a couple times where he's throwing right hands where he's like falling forward into it. But man, these guys went to war. And when we talk about Sean Strickland, which we will later, obviously I'm not the only YouTuber in MMA that's going to say this. I mean, everybody else that reacts to the Sean Strickland fight is going to say the exact same shit. Like, they're going to be like, yo, like, what? We'll get into it. Anyways, these guys actually went to war. This was a really gnarly fight. Both of these guys had each other hurt. They were there. They were not giving up on themselves whatsoever. They were there to win this fight to the very end. Cody Steele, he couldn't get the takedowns. And, I mean, he could have kept trying takedowns. I think he realized it, and I don't think he probably would have gotten very effective takedowns on Rongju. Rongju was just shutting it down. And Cody Steele realized that, and he's like, okay, I have to stand with this guy. He's a little bit better than me, stand up, but I'm going to go for it. I have to go for it if I want to win this fight. And he went for it. Like, there was no shame in losing a unanimous decision that way. Like, he couldn't get the takedowns, but he didn't just let all the rounds get away from him. He went out there and he tried his damn best to win this fight. And at the end, they're both like doing the Max Holloway, pointing at the ground, screaming at each other. Cody Steele's got his tongue out like, ah, and the Rongju's just, you know, they were slugging. That last 20 seconds was really, really fun to watch. Great fight from both guys. You know, never seen Rongju or Cody Steele fight before this. I know, call me casual, it's fair enough. But definitely fans of both these guys' fights and fighting styles after this. It was a really good fight. Up next, we have Kobe Thicknessy. Love that name. It's just a wild name. Versus Alexander Topuria. And it's Alexander's debut, obviously Kobe's debut as well. On short notice for Kobe, but on short notice for Alexandra Topuria too with the opponent change. Man, he is, I know, this is like one of the fights like, okay, like how good is Alexander Topuria? Dude, he's good. He's very good. But Kobe Thicknessy is also very, very good. And I thought he fought a very, very good fight throughout the whole fight. I really did. I think there was some moments where, like the last round, the third round, that failed takedown, or I think it was a submission. He went for the Kimura and got stuck on the ground underneath Alexander Topuria. That definitely wasn't like, that was a little bit of like, okay, it's like my UFC debut and like kind of just not a rookie mistake, but not a veteran move. Like if you were a very experienced fighter, like having like 10, 15 fights in the UFC, probably wouldn't have made that decision after getting slightly out-grappled or just having somebody sit on top of you in the earlier rounds. With Alexander in the first round, like he was, like the grappling was good on both ends, but he definitely was able to hold Kobe there for a little bit, and it was hard for him to get back up. And just going for that submission and getting stuck on bottom that whole third round wasn't a veteran move. But other than that, like striking wise, he was doing everything he had to do to fight Alexander Topuria. And I think he was doing a great job of it. Second round, and third round, he was doing a really good job of piecing him up at the beginning before he got taken down. And the third round as well. He's taller than Alexander Topuria, and he used his range and fought well with it. Just on the outside, tons of variety in the striking, trying to keep the distance. Man, you notice with Alexander Topuria and Ilya Topuria, their styles are very, very, very similar. Boxing-wise, grappling-wise, everything like that. I mean, again, coming into this, I thought Alexander Topuria was going to win just because, yeah, maybe his current MMA record isn't insane, but if you've been training and you're the main training partner and you're the coach of somebody like Ilya, you're in charge of all of that. Ilya's a very smart, high IQ fighter, very technical. That's going to rub off. You're going to be very technical. You're probably going to be a very smart IQ fighter, and you're going to be very skilled. Whether you have that championship mentality or not, you're still going to have the ability technique-wise and, basically game planning-wise to make sure that you win a fight at this level. And he did. He absolutely did. The third round, he literally just held him there the whole round and, guaranteed himself to win, which was smart. It was 30-27 on all the scorecards. Like, the second round was actually quite close, in my opinion. You could have given it to Alexander Topuria. You probably would have. But I think there was not an argument. Well, Kobe did a really good job that round, and it was a very close round. You could have given it to Kobe, probably to Alexander Topuria, but you could have argued the other way as well. But very, very good showing from Alexander Topuria. I mean, there's something about this boxing style that Ilya and Alexander Topuria have that it's like, yeah, very, very technical boxing, but they're shorter guys and they fight short. They don't fight long at all. They we saw with Kobe Thignesi, it was generally very easy for him to stand outside and just like outstrike him like 3-1, just pop up, and like use his range to hold him at bay. I mean, obviously the pressure from Alexander Topuria is pushing him up against the cage, looking for that shot. But they're boxing where they stay very defensively sound. They throw, they don't have the highest output, but when they throw, man, like they throw with 100% into these shots. And I think it's a good boxing strategy for MMA. Like you could lose a fight by getting outpointed on the outside like that. But the thing is, in 15 minutes, they're going to hit you with something. They're going to get close enough and they're going to throw hard enough to hit you with something that's going to make a difference. And it's either going to drop you or it's either going to make you not want to come forward, or yeah, they're going to, and they're going to pressure you up against the fence, and they're going to find one or two big shots, and then they're going to let the combos go and finish the fight. And you can't grapple with them. You just can't, because they're very, very good grappling. So very, very good fight for Alexander Topuria. Kobe Thignesi, I mean, great fight for him. His first loss. I would like to see more of his fights in the UFC. I think he deserved a UFC contract off that. It was a good fight. He's definitely very, very skilled. He just fought a slightly better version of a fighter that night. So, anyways, that was a weird way to say that. My bad, guys. Wang Kong. So Wang Kong versus Bruno Brazil. There was a lot of talk about Wang Kong getting just smoked in this because her last fight she got submitted. Bruno Brazil is supposed to be a good grappler. She didn't grapple at all, really, and it was kind of disappointing to see. I mean, she tried a little bit, but Wang Kong shut it down. And Wang Kong is a million times better than her on the feet, and showed it. I mean, she was just piecing her up pretty much the whole fight. And Bruno Brazil looked pretty just like, yeah, she was just over it. She's like, she just looked very, not disappointed is the word. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. Like I said, guys, long day. Been training for like 4 hours on the slopestyle course, and now it's been here. But, I mean, Bruno Brazil, she kind of gave up on herself. She kind of just accepted defeat is what I'm trying to say. She could have kept trying for takedowns. She should have probably tried a lot more takedowns because there was nothing happening in the striking, really. And she just kind of let herself get beat by unanimous decision. She didn't, like, try to come forward and just get into a firefight with Wang Kong, which, again, probably wouldn't have been a good idea for her. But what she was doing wasn't working. So she either needed to shoot a million takedowns and pray that she got one and held her down for a round and maybe finished her, or she needed to just step in and start throwing and hope to get lucky, because she wasn't going to win a striking tit-for-tat battle with Wang Kong at any point. And she got rocked a couple times as well. So, Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshev. I wanted Vyacheslav Borshev to win. I was hoping for it, but he didn't, nonetheless. Tom Nolan won. I didn't really know Tom Nolan coming into this fight, but he fought very, very well against Vyacheslav Borshev. And I didn't think his striking would be as good as Borshev's, because Borshev is like a very, very, very highly credentialed kickboxer and a striker. But I think what we're seeing now in MMA is like these really high-level kickboxer strikers or grapplers or pure wrestlers, like these credentials, yes, usually they are a bit better than the other person in that their specific area, but it doesn't mean as much as it used to be. Like, it's not like, oh my god, this guy's like a world champion kickboxer, no way I can ever stand with him. Tom Nolan stood with him and he outstruck him. He generally outstruck him. I thought he was going to have to take him to the ground to get this fight, to get the win in this fight, but he outstruck him, landed the bigger, harder shots. It was a good fight. It was a really good back and forth fight. Vyacheslav Borshev is super tough. He wasn't going anywhere, but neither was Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan was there to just get after it. And I mean, Tom Nolan, he was visibly bigger, but he really just imposed his will in this fight and did a very, very good job in the striking. I was surprised. So great win from Tom Nolan. Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. I wanted Jack Jenkins to win. I don't know why I'm forgetting what happened in this fight. I guess he got submitted in round 3. Maybe I think I missed the ending of this fight for some reason. But Jack Jenkins, right at the beginning, pretty much almost finished the fight, and it just didn't happen. And then it was a long 10 minutes, 12 minutes until he got to the submitted in the final round. I wish I actually remembered what happened, but I don't know, man. I'm new to this YouTube thing, so. Francisco Prado versus Jake Matthews. Dude, Prado coming in against Jake Matthews. I think I picked Prado to win. I really wanted him to win because I do like his fighting style, but Jake Matthews beat his ass, man. Jake Matthews, again, very, very visibly bigger than Francisco Prado. Obviously, Francisco coming up a weight class, which I didn't think was a super smart idea, honestly, because he's already low-key kind of small for his weight division, like where he normally fights. And coming up a weight division, which is quite a bit pound, I think 145 to 160, right? And, I mean, it's a tough look, man. Like, it's hard when you're that's, like, he's the smaller, stockier fighter. He doesn't fight super long. He throws a lot of power into everything, kind of like Ilya and Alexander Topuria, but he doesn't have the technique that they do, the boxing at the same level as them. He's just he's just there to get hit a lot more. And Jake Matthews absolutely pieced him up for 3 rounds. I mean, Francisco Prado, again, love this guy as a fighter because he never gives up on himself, and he's trying to the very end to win the fight. It was just kind of similar to one of the other fights I watched of his where he was just getting beat up at range and unable to close the distance with the big shots that he needed. And when he did land big shots, it wasn't enough to drop Jake Matthews. And there were few and far between where the hit landed really, really clean. And Jake Matthews most certainly outstruck him. So great win from Jake Matthews. He is actually a very good fighter, and I'd love to see more of him. Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. This was a draw. This should not have been a draw. Not because I don't think that it was equal in the scorecards. Because Jimmy Crute should have won this fight in the beginning, in my opinion. I don't know how he didn't. I understand he didn't finish the fight, but he most certainly should have finished this fight. He had him very, very, very hurt in the first round. I'm not sure why. Like, I don't really understand what happened, but he couldn't get him out of there. Like, Rodolfo Bellato was like visibly, like, he was so done. There was almost a minute left in the fight. And when Jimmy Crute had him in, like, he actually had him in top position, like, on the ground. And he was trying to finish the fight, but he wasn't trying to finish the fight hard enough. Like, that fight was, like, before it went to the ground and when it was on the ground was, like, 2 or 3 good strikes away from being finished. Like, just a big elbow, even with the guard up. And Jimmy Crute was taking his time and looking for the perfect shot. And if he just unloaded, it would have been finished. The ref would have stopped the fight. Anyways, great from Rodolfo Bellato. He came back and he really pulled himself out of a hole in this fight and managed to win it. I was surprised. I mean, second round he looked a lot better. Jimmy Crute was still doing good, but Rodolfo Bellato arguably won. I think he won the second round. Jimmy Crute slowed down a lot after the first round, and he shouldn't have. Like, yeah, he used a decent amount of energy to finish him, but it was not enough energy to be that tired in the second round. Obviously, Rodolfo Bellato had some good calf kicks, which were, according to the commentary, slowing Jimmy Crute down. I didn't necessarily, like, they were hard calf kicks. They were good calf kicks. But Jimmy Crute, like, I think he is just more cardio. He's kind of jacked he's more jacked than I thought he was. But he just doesn't look like he has the cardio to do a full, like, hard 15 minutes when things are close. And he slowed down a lot in that second round and in the third round, and Rodolfo Bellato kind of ran away with those last 2 rounds. They were both landing good shots. Jimmy Crute was still landing huge shots on Rodolfo Bellato. I mean, good for Rodolfo for staying in this fight. He's so tough. But Rodolfo Bellato was landing harder and more on Jimmy Crute in the second, third, and got to majority draw. This is Jimmy Crute's second majority draw in his last 3 fights, which is kind of crazy. He destroyed that first round. He should have been able to win the second round enough that if it went to the decision, it was his, and he should have finished the fight, to be honest, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Things happen. Wow. Justin Taffa versus Talshin Teixeira. Performance of the night. I don't know if it was performance of the night. Again, Justin Taffa is a really bad fighter, in my opinion. They're just fat dudes that can throw heavy punches. This guy looks like he's never trained seriously in his life. He's probably gone to the gym for like the last 6 years and maybe gone like 3 times a week, hit the pads a bit, maybe sparred a couple times. there's just not a lot of good heavyweights. So you have the top of name, you go fight these guys. Like, oh yeah, we have this big Samoan guy. He looks kind of the part of a fighter. Like the Mark Hunt vibe. Like, he definitely doesn't look the part of a fighter. He's literally got the world's biggest muffin top, inked up muffin top, spilling over his shorts. I mean, it went 35 seconds, but let's be real. If it went another 35 seconds, he was probably going to gas out anyways. Like, 2 minutes in, he was gassing out for sure. Anyways, Tailashon Teixeira, obviously, he's a really tall guy, which again comes with a little bit of not as much athleticism when you're that awkwardly tall. But against Justin Tafa, he is going to be more athletic than him no matter what. And his height was really good. He used it well. He's got a really good grappling background. He shot for the takedown. Didn't work. Pushed Justin Tafa up against the fence. Clinched him. Amazing elbow. Just hit him with a huge elbow. Hit him with a knee. And that was the fight. Justin Tafa, again, big shots. So fair enough to Justin Tafa to drop down. But once he got hit with those shots, he basically... Whether he was actually like very, very hurt or not, he was done. He wasn't doing anything. Like, he didn't look like he wanted to be there after that, which again, fair enough. Like, if it goes any longer than how long it's been, 35 seconds, he's going to gas out anyways and probably lose. So, great win from Tailashon Teixeira. We'd love to see more of his fights. Hopefully he gets some better competition along the way and builds up a good resume. We need some more cool fighters in heavyweight. So, and women's strawweight title bout. Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. This was a really, I was going to say good fight for a second, but not. A good fight for Zhang Weili. I had Zhang Weili winning. I just think she's too well-rounded. I said that in the predictions. She's too well-rounded. It's just, like she got a little bit out-grappled here and there from other people, but she's somebody that's going to put in the work. Like I said, when she's not fighting, when she's not training, or when she's not fighting, she's going to be putting the work training, and she's going to be getting better, and she's going to fix those gaps. She's in amazing physical shape, especially for 115. She's got incredible cardio. She's very technical. She has good stand-up. She's good everywhere, and she's going to work on everything that she's weak at. And she absolutely beat Tatiana Suarez's ass. Like, it wasn't even close. Tatiana Suarez, I hadn't really watched her fight before. Super hyped up wrestler. Apparently going to be, a lot of people had her winning. She was actually the favorite coming into this fight, which I think was a little interesting. I did think that she would have a little bit more success in the grappling. She had zero success in the grappling. I see everybody like, oh, she got takedown in the first one and held her there. In the first and held her there. She got a takedown kind of because Zhang Weili went to throw her and couldn't quite get the throw, which she did get the throw multiple times later in the other rounds and took Tatiana Suarez down. It was kind of a little mistake on Zhang Weili's part that led to the first takedown. And yeah, Zhang Weili got stuck there for a little bit under Tatiana Suarez, a good 3 minutes. But Zhang Weili, she was very, very defensively sound, which I kind of knew. I didn't expect Zhang Weili to get finished if she was on her back. Maybe you could hold her there and control her there if you're way, way better at grappling, but you're not going to finish her. And look at the total strikes. 232 to 63. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Significant strikes, 53 to 12. Zhang Weili kicked her butt. Absolutely smacked her around the octagon. I think Zhang Weili showed amazing takedown defense. She's a very strong, sturdy, heavy girl in great shape. Tatiana Suarez was fully in on some takedowns with her hands locked. And Zhang Weili was doing the right things to defend them. But she's just a very, she's got this low to the center of gravity to the ground. She's very, very strong. People were saying Tatiana Suarez could outmuscle her. I didn't think that was going to happen. Have you seen the legs and muscles on Zhang Weili? She's a solid chick. And anyways, she basically, on the feet, wasn't really close at all. Zhang Weili could do whatever she wanted and felt like she could do whatever she wanted. She was extremely confident on the feet. And that also led to the later rounds, second, third, fourth, fifth, why Tatiana Suarez, again, she didn't shoot too many takedowns, but they were all getting stuffed in the later rounds. But the reason they were getting stuffed, one, because Zhang Weili has great takedown defense and has worked on a lot, but she's not really worried about anything in the striking that much. So she's keeping her hands very low where she can get the underhooks very easily. And also Tatiana Suarez was getting tired. She's getting beat up all the rounds significantly. She cut her knee open, which I do think might have affected the takedowns a little bit, but not enough to have been this bad. Not this bad, but just this much of a difference in the fight. I just think that she was outskilled against Zhang Weili. Outskilled, out-cardioed, and out-mindset. Tatiana Suarez looked pretty defeated coming into the fourth and fifth round, which is understandable. Like, your way of winning is takedowns, and you can't get any on Zhang Weili, and she's just beating you up on the feet. It's understandable. But great win from Zhang Weili. She's the GOAT. I have loved her as a fighter since I started watching. She always puts on really good fights, very technical, very skilled fights. Striking, she always throws down. And she's somebody who knows how to win and goes out there for the win. Unlike what we're going to talk about now in the main fight, Sean Strickland. I generally don't understand how he got a title fight again. I don't think he really deserved it. He had a very questionable win against Paulo Costa. It wasn't like a wow fight. It was very similar to this fight, very similar to the fight before. Sean Strickland, I heard somebody else say this, and you're going to hear like a lot of people talk about Sean Strickland in general, about his just mindset, like, oh my God, guys, let's go to war. I'm going to go to war for you guys. I'm going to go to war. And then throws ones and twos and a teep. Like, he tries to act like he's just this, like, very aggressive, like, try to take your head off fighter, but he really isn't. And we all have seen this now, but I never really understood that from the beginning. Like, everybody's like, oh my God, like, he's such a like, let's throw down fighter. And like, even when I watched him fight Jack Hermanson. I don't know why it took me a while to remember that, but Jack Hermanson, he's like, I remember watching him, like, this is years ago, watching him in the middle of the arena, middle of the cage, at the end of the fight, like, you and me, let's go, let's throw. And then Jack Hermanson throws, like, stands there. He's like, let's stand and fight. And Jack Hermanson stands there and starts throwing, and Sean Strickland just backs away. Or he throws, like, one jab, and, like, he tries to act like he wants to just have this insane war, and he doesn't. He has one gear. He has one speed that he fights at. People are always like, oh man, Sean Strickland's cardio is so good. I don't think Sean Strickland's cardio is good at all. Like, maybe that's a controversial opinion. It's not bad, but his cardio is just, it's okay. Like, the reason his cardio seems so good, because he can go 5 rounds and not seem tired, is because he doesn't do much. He literally walks forward. He's not bouncing around at all on his feet. He's standing completely upright, plodding forward, throwing ones, twos, teeps. Like, that's very, generally that's, like, it doesn't use a lot of energy. Like, there's a reason why his cardio lasts all the rounds, because he doesn't do that much. Dricus du Plessis, he has great cardio. Reason he looks more tired than Sean is because he's doing 5 times more than Sean. He's switching stances. He's on his feet. He's light. He's in. He's out. He's throwing a variety of strikes. And, I mean, it was just, I don't know. There were some people thinking Sean Strickland was going to win this fight. I definitely didn't. I just thought that, like, again, I said this in the predictions, Dricus du Plessis is going to do more. He's just going to do more to win the fight. Sean Strickland is going to let the fight slip away from him. If he's losing the fight, he's not going to do anything else. He's still going to throw jabs, crosses, and teeps. And barely any crosses. Like, he's throwing, like, overhand forearm punches at Dricus. Like, he's winging them. I haven't even seen Sean wing punches like that bad in a while. But, yeah, I mean, Sean Strickland basically, like, he has one gear. He's got a second gear. He's coming forward. He's throwing teeps and jabs and twos occasionally. And that's his gear. If he doesn't, like, land the, like, if he's losing the fight doing that, he's going to keep doing that and lose the fight. He's not going to do anything different. And coming to this fight, I just thought that Dricus had too many different options. Like, Dricus is good at grappling. He's throwing tons of kicks, low kicks, high kicks, body kicks, ones, twos. He's got a way bigger bag to dive into that he will dive into if it isn't working. Like, if Dricus for some reason came out and could not strike with Sean Strickland, he would have changed it up in the second, third, or fourth, or fifth. And even in the fourth and fifth, if he knew he needed to finish to win, he would have tried his damn best to do that, which Strickland wouldn't. And his coach was like, yo, you need a finish. You need to do this. And Strickland's just like, yeah, okay, and then does the same thing. Anyways, Dricus, he had all the tools to win this fight. Didn't really use any takedowns. He did get one takedown on Sean Strickland. It was there. It was generally pretty easy for him. Sean got up right away. But again, Dricus probably could have done that all night, where he took him down, Sean get up, took him down, Sean get up, land a couple shots, take him down, Sean gets up. But I thought Dricus looked very, very, very good tonight. Sean looked like Sean. He did the same thing every fight. And it was generally very unimpressive. And I think he's got, I don't know. I don't think his win against Adesanya, people are like, oh man, like, he shut down Adesanya. I think it was just a very, very bad off night for Adesanya. And I don't think Sean Strickland shut down Adesanya. I don't think his striking is that good. I don't think his pace is that good. I think I think people have off nights. People get hit with something they weren't expecting and it kind of throws you off your game. I think that's what happened against Izzy. Anyways, Dricus, striking-wise, looked very, very clean compared to other fights, made huge improvements. I thought, people were saying he's still a little bit sloppy. I didn't think he was that sloppy. I thought I saw some really good technique, some crisp kickboxing, like ones, twos, hands up. He was coming in, he was changing up beautifully, spinning attacks, lead high kicks. The lead high kicks were landing super well. Again, it's hard to get a lot of snap and power to knock somebody out with a lead high kick, but I mean, he was doing a very, very good job changing everything up, striking-wise, being completely unpredictable, and he kicked Sean Strickland's ass. Like, we'll look at the total strikes here. It was 150 to 130. That sounds closer than it was. It was not that close. I mean, yeah. He literally just, everything he did was considerably better and 5 times the output. Again, if Sean threw as much output as Dricus, like, if Sean threw as many 1-2s and teeps as Dricus did, as many throws as Dricus did, he probably would have had a very close fight against Dricus. But he just doesn't throw enough. Dricus is landing 5 times compared to Sean's 1. And you cannot give somebody a win when they're getting out-volumed. You can't. Like, unless they, like, almost knock the person out or almost finish them, you can't give them a round or a fight based on just landing a couple punches when they're getting hit, like, outlanded 5-1. And he didn't hurt Dricus really at all in this fight. Dricus broke his nose in the 4th round, which was, good for Sean for fighting through that. That was really impressive. It was a really big shot, but other than that, man, like, Dricus really just pieced him up for 5 rounds. I was actually kind of bummed I stayed up late to watch this because it was like, fuck, like, it's 4th round, Sean, like, you need to change something up or try harder or just go forward and take more risks, and he absolutely didn't. And I was like, man, it's late and I'm trying to go to bed. I got training tomorrow, and this guy is just not changing anything about the way he's fighting. But that was the fight. Dricus is really, really showed up. I saw huge improvements. He looked really good. His call out of, why am I drawing a blank? Alex Pereira. My God, it's been a long day. Alex Pereira, his call out of Alex Pereira, great fight. We'd love to see that. He himself said he wants to fight Hamzat first. I think that's a beautiful play. If he can get through Hamzat and then go and fight Pereira, that's going to be massive. He's going to have a tough fight against Hamzat, but I think if anybody can do it, he's definitely one of the guys that can shut down Hamzat. He has good grappling. He's big and strong. He has good striking. He has great cardio. He's there to have a firefight in a war with somebody, unlike Sean, who says he is but doesn't actually have a war, which is going to be a huge part of this. And if he is able to, keep Hamzat at bay for that first, I think he's going to meet Hamzat head on and fight fire with fire. But if he is able to take Hamzat into that 2nd round, that 3rd round, I think we could see a very interesting fight. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. I want to do this just because I want to stay on the track of doing these UFC card breakdowns and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.